With this, I invite the next speaker, Professor Panduranga Rao. He's going to talk on Ramappa Temple, and he's a retired professor at the National Institute of Technology, Warangal, and Ramappa Temple is in Warangal. He has richly contributed to the water resources management, which I think Warangal heritage, the Kakatiya ruling, and all those things shows things very clearly. He has played as he is a convener of INTACH Warangal, played an important role for more than 25 years, so involved in INTACH activities. And now he has been very instrumental in getting Ramappa Temple a World Heritage status, which got very recently. And he has published several books on the Kakatiyas and the heritage and all those things. He has won several awards. And I invite Professor Panduranga Rao to talk about the Ramappa Temple, World Heritage Site.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to talk to you about the great Ramappa Temple, which was inscribed as a World Heritage Monument in 25th July 2021. Now, we have been working on this project for the last 40 years. As a professor in RGC, in those days it's known as REC, Regional Engineering College, Warangal. So we had a research project from Archaeological Survey of India on geotechnical appraisal and evaluation of Kakatiya monuments, which include Ramappa Temple, Thousand Pillar Temple, and Warangal Fort. So we have been trying to study the geoengineering aspects. In fact, most of these temples are projected on their art and architecture. So in addition to these things, we have been working on the construction technology and the geoengineering of the great Kakatiyas. Now, the great Kakatiyas have built magnificent rock temples, mighty irrigation projects, and to commemorate them, they have created township. This is what we call the 3T concept: the tank, the township, and the temple. So, on the downstream of most of these tanks, they have built these temples. Now, this is the one which we have been doing these days. This is the view of the Ramappa Temple, the panoramic view. And these are the various types of investigations we have done. We have carried out electrical resistivity surveys, seismic surveys, and borehole analysis to find out what is the material beneath the foundations. In fact, they have done a wonderful job of creating sandbox technology. The sandbox technology which withstood the test of time, and it has been an excellent absorber of earthquakes. And this is the panoramic view of the Ramappa Temple. Now you can see the shikhar of the Ramappa Temple. The shikhar of the Ramappa Temple is built with beautiful bricks which float on water. So normally you don't see a brick floating on water. But the great Kakatiyas have created this shikhara with floating bricks whose density is less than 1. So this is what we have expressed, and we have impressed on the ICOMOS in Paris about the geoengineering and construction technology of the great Kakatiyas. Now, this is a very important meeting which we had in 1991, where the then Director General of Archaeological Survey of India was invited to be the chief guest, in which we have presented the geotechnical aspects in 1991. So this is the Director General at that time. So these are the various things which we have done. These are the things that we have created, the seismic surveys, and all these important components we have analyzed the subsurface. And this is the great Ramappa Temple, and you would see here the Lord Rudreswara, which is always shining, irrespective of the light outside. It's because of the reflection of light from the highly polished dolerite rocks. So they have identified the dolerite rock, the hardest rock in the world, and given such a wonderful polish. It's like a mirror-like polish. So this is the Sikara of the Ramappa temple. I would like to show you some of the important things that the temple has undergone. So this is how the Sikara looks like. During 80s, the whole Sikara is built up of the floating bricks. So people started picking up a brick and put it in water like the boat which we used to play in the olden days. Then in the 1980s, when we had that project, we thought we should restore this great Sikara, and we have gone in for the lime plaster. So this is the brick which floats on water. So these are the various types of rocks that we have identified in the construction technology. So they have used the local available sandstone, they have used the granites, they have used the dolerites, and the floating bricks and the sand as an important foundation material. So this is the Nandi Mandapam which we have restored, which was totally destroyed due to various factors, including an earthquake. So this is a beautiful Nandi carved out of the dolerite with highly intricate carvings. Now this is the inscription which depicts that the great Kakatiyas have built this temple into 1213, more than 800 years back, and still it withstood the test of time. So this is what we call the seismic design, which the great Kakatiyas have done by creating sandbox technology. So they have used lime and the sandbox, and they have used wherever there are very high load bearings, they have used the dolerite rocks, and these are all the things which you see here, the settlement phenomena of this monument. See, this is the inside position. Now you could see here the Ranga Mandapa, where the four major load-bearing columns are located, has undergone settlement to the tune of almost 10 to 12 inches. In spite of such a great settlement, you would see the structure is still very safe. This is what we call the extraordinary factor of safety of the great Kakatiyas. In fact, we don't normally allow more than a few centimeters of settlement. But here, they have allowed more than 30 centimeters of settlement. So this is the extraordinary factor of safety. Now, all these important components we have highlighted before the ICOMOS in World Heritage, and we have impressed on them about the geotechnology and the engineering practices that the great Kakatiyas have done 800 years back. I gave a live demonstration of the floating brick of Ramappa before the world body on 23rd November 2019. And they were all surprised to see how a brick can float on water. I would like to give a demonstration right now. So these are all the things that you see here, the cantilever porticos, which they have created. And to support the cantilever, rock cantilever, they have created the beautiful Naganis and Naganis. You see, even after 800 years, you see the exuberant youthfulness and the mirror-like polish. So they are all the cavity walls. They have created a cavity wall. We have an inner leaf and an outer leaf to create air conditioning effects in this particular temple. So these are all in a great stress and in highly dilapidated condition. And we have identified that they have built this monument on sandbox. Now I will just show you here a very important structure which we have totally removed, and this is the sandbox. We have removed the temple because it has undergone a total settlement, and you see the sand beneath the foundation. So this is where we are now standing on the sandbox. So these are all the things which we have projected before the world body ICOMOS, and they were convinced that it is not only the art and architecture that plays a very important role in identifying the monument as a World Heritage Monument, and we can skip this. I would like to show you the bricks that float on water. You know, these bricks have a density of less than water. So this is the normal brick. This is the normal brick, which has a density of about 2.2 to 2.3. And the moment I put this brick in water, it sinks. And the other brick, you please hold it. So this is the brick of the Sikra of the Ramappa temple. When it floats on water. Can you give me this? So this is how I gave a live demonstration before the world body in 2009 in Paris, along with my other colleagues. So they were all astonished to see how a brick floats on water. So then we gave an explanation that the sculptors at that time have realized if they go for the normal brick, there will be heavy load on the foundation and the whole structure will collapse. So they have to think of reducing the load on the foundation. So they have thought of creating this lightweight porous brick whose compressive strength is about 40 kg per centimeter square, unlike the normal brick, which is only 20 to 25 kg. And its water absorption is very, very low. It floats like this. And its compressive strength is double and the density is less than half. So this is what we said, a creative genius of those sculptors who have built this temple on sandbox, which is an excellent sand absorber. There were a number of earthquakes that the area has passed through in the past, and in spite of it, the structure is very safe. So they have gone in for a seismic design. So the selection of materials for construction of the temple, the sandbox technology, the floating bricks of the Ramappa temple, all these things together have collectively made Ramappa into World Heritage. So we are proud that the INTACH and the chairman, General Guptaji, has been constantly encouraging us, the Kakatiya Heritage Trust, the Archaeological Survey of India, our state archaeology department. This is the monument of Archaeological Survey of India. So we have been working together for the last almost 40 years in trying to see that how best we restore our great monuments and see that these monuments play a very important role in our heritage conservation. Now, past is the key to the present, but here the present is the key to the past. So we have to realize that our great sculptors have given us a wonderful monuments, and it is our responsibility to protect and preserve these monuments and keep it for our posterity and restore them without using cement, iron, and concrete. Most of these restorations are taking place with cement concrete. So we have been advocating not to use cement concrete in heritage conservation. The same thing we have suggested to our Rama Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya, where they were using cement concrete piles. So we have shown them that the Kakatiyas have done an excellent job in building this structure on sandbox, and withstood the test of time for 800 to 1,000 years. So accordingly, they have modified their designs and avoided cement concrete piles. So it's a great honor that we are able to do something for our Lord Rama in Ayodhya. So I profusely thank the chairman, the executive of INTACH, and my conveners of different chapters who have given me this wonderful opportunity of presenting about our Ramappa right before. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Rao, for giving a wonderful presentation. Ramappa temple is a fine monument, but there are many other beautiful monuments, including the fort in Warangal, which I think will be part of the World Heritage list in the future.